Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Eye Opener Society. Welcome back to Monday with the Ministers. And got a big surprise here. We're on some new software. I'm using Riverside. If you have not heard our little episode that I had done explaining what's going on, I'll just give you a quick recap. We are doing away. We used to do everything on Zoom, and Zoom has always been perfect for me. But as we evolved and we're becoming more of a ministry and we have our Thursday night sermons, Riverside just happens to suit my needs much better. It's very expensive. So in the synopsis of this show, there's going to be a couple of links. If you wish to donate, we appreciate it. Honestly, because this gets expensive to do and handle, but this is going to be our future. And Lizzie and I, we got our Thursday night sermons and we broadcast live on Facebook and YouTube. Riverside seems to do this flawlessly, and I really like it. This episode here, not only do we have our Cosmic Fairy Princess Lizzie, but also joining us is Elaine as well. So we're going to open up this conversation and we're going to have a lot of fun with this. And also, if you're tuning in on any podcast platform right now, you're only going to have audio only. And if you wish to view us, you could go to YouTube or BitChute. Those are going to be our two main hosting sites for video only. And everything else is going to be on audio. This is the way it's going to be. It's for financial reasons, and it's also just to kind of move away from that podcast style platform more into our ministry. So Elaine, Lizzie, we've kind of been away, and Lizzie, we've been kind of away a little bit because we've recorded a couple back-to-back episodes. So we had about 2 weeks where we didn't really do anything. And I know there's been a lot going on. I missed our Sunday teachings, and I had a weekend that I wanted to discuss, but I first want to just open up the floor really to you there, Lizzie. What's been going on? What's on your mind?
Oh, well, currently I'm exploring colors. Let me see if I can make it scientific and cosmic, but I just barely learned about it, this aspect of it. So if I have any of the facts wrong, like I might correct them later. But okay. Red, yellow, and green. Red, yellow, blue are the primary colors, right? And so if you have light and you shine these three colors, they turn into white. But if you do it with pigment, like paint or ink or anything like that, it turns black. And so the colors work differently. And so printers actually operate off of what is called the subtractive color system, which I can't remember. It's like magenta, cyan, and then there's another color I should have wrote down. I didn't know we were going to talk about it today. But and so what I've been exploring, okay, so I found this the same time I was watching the neighbors had some discourse. Their dog got out, attacked the other dog. All the dogs were okay, but that's obviously a terrifying experience whenever that happens. So I woke up to like just chaos everywhere outside, lots of people shouting. So I went out to see if I could do anything, and everything kind of calmed down about the time I kind of came in at the end of it. But then, like, cops came later. Like, it was like a long thing with a lot of things going on everywhere. And I'm watching it right after I learned about this subtractive thing, and I had all this, I don't know how to explain it, like this impression that it's about holding things. Okay. So whenever we like let something go, we always let it go with a new definition by accident. But if you can let it go to just be actually free, then you let it go to be something. And like you can't, like if you got to the point where your paint was black, you now can't really add anything to make it not dark. You can put more color in it, but it's still going to be a dark color. And this isn't a perfect analogy, but pretend that it is. So then you shine light on the pigment, right? And what happens when you do that is when you get the additive colors versus the subtractive colors, creating things versus destroying things, what happens is you see all the light in the pigment. Because anytime something's being destroyed, it's because something bigger is being created. And oftentimes when things are being destroyed, they're actually not being destroyed. They still exist, just not how we knew them before. And so, like, as humans, and maybe it's part of our culture, or maybe this is just a me thing, but we try to, like, fix things and hold things and hope for the best and, all of these things that all count quantumly in this metaphor as pigment. You're basically muddying the waters of what you're doing every time you choose something is factually true. Every time you choose this is the story that happened. You know what I mean? And so it's like at some point you have this just like big blob of pigment that you actually have to not define things. You have to not decide things. Just like let it be light.
And this is why I enjoy our Sundays. And I'm sorry I missed this Sunday. See, Elaine, Lizzie does a lot of teaching, and she started up this little thing on Sundays. We get together and we go, on the Google Meet that she has, and she does like these teachings, and there's always something very interesting that she has to say. And this is exactly a perfect example of what was going on a Sunday. This is what you would hear. And you're always invited to join us too, because I learned so much from this girl. I really do. She's absolutely amazing. And when you hear her conversations, like Elaine, when you and I met in person, and again, you're the only person I ever met in person from everybody in this studio here, but the conversations we had, so deep and so on the next level. That's why the three of us can sit and probably talk forever because of it.
Which is why I had to do the Sundays, because I had to open it to more people. You know what I mean? Like this, every week, this time, we're having cosmic conversations. And I did try to make it about the frequency of money at first, but I just decided everything in life is way too interwoven. Like my metaphor right there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you just like pick a topic and talk about that every Sunday? So it kind of just turned into where we just kind of like this, where we're just like, well, this is what I'm doing this week. And then we all just kind of play in each other's like fun things.
Yes, and I actually really loved that allegory that you gave, Lizzie, about colors and pigments. I remember that was one of my favorite things about painting whenever I did some art classes whenever I was very young, was shades and hues. I love colors. I'm obsessed with colors. So I really, really love the point that you're making there about how we muddy things. I'm good at regurgitating parables and proverbs and bits of wisdom that I've picked up. I'm not so great at teaching, though. I'm not so great at that giving a lesson part. So thank goodness you have that gift, Lizzie. Um, I'm a lot better at picking up the vibes and the messages and throwing bits and pieces of what I've collected together. But I'm reminded of the Tao. There was a line, I believe, Lao Tzu, that you have to allow your waters to clear and the mud to settle so that you can see clearly. And
Yeah.
that letting go is so important, that we as humans, we try to fix things, and sometimes we do far too much fixing, and we mess things up as a result with the best of intentions. And that's the most tragic mistake or mess up of all, I believe. So I think you have great wisdom there, Lizzie, whenever you say that sometimes we just need to learn to let things be what they are, process it, and just let it go.
Yeah, thank you. And I agree. That was a beautiful quote there that fit perfectly with what I was saying. I think the hardest part for me is separating detachment from non-attachment. Because when I let things go, I don't know if this is universal, but whenever I let things go, there's always a thought that fills that space. Like, oh, it's better this way. Even that alone, I think actually might muddy the waters. Because now you've now decided it's better this way. You've closed the door for it to come back differently. Does that make sense? And so that's what I'm trying to figure out how to like explain in this metaphor. But I've really just been like staring at a wall for a couple of days thinking about it at this point. So I haven't gotten very far into it. Um, yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Well, here's something interesting because when you're talking about muddying the waters, you're talking about these colors. Now, I was going to sit and discuss something, and Lizzie, I know I sent you a Marco Polo about it, and I don't mind being personal, especially it's my platform. I could be personal on it. Um, but it blends in beautifully with what you're saying as far as muddying the waters. The colors are changing, and I'm just sitting here listening to you, and I related it all to what happened to me over the weekend. And again, this is a little bit of a personal story, but we know I hate going to work. It's this has been bothering me for a while, and it's been affecting me. And I'm getting ready to try and move into Cynthiana, Kentucky, and it's a lot of stuff that's involved, logistics and everything else, and hoping to get a job and hoping to get a place to live and trying to get them kind of lined up at the same time. So there's been a lot of that going on, and I kind of wanted to take a break from it. And this past weekend, I said, screw it. I rented a car, and I said, okay, just gonna go out. I started rock hounding. It's my new little hobby, and I figured, oh, I got a couple of days to do a few things. I'll get up early on Saturday. I'll go rock hound. I'll come back, and then I said, I'm going to explore a new town. Just go see something different, a new place here in Pennsylvania. Take my wife Melissa with me. We'll go see something. Now Melissa just had surgery, so she's still in pain from that. And the sad part of all this is I was having a great time. I got up early and I said, you know what? I could do the rock hound later. Let's take a longer drive. A 2-hour drive. Bellefonte, PA. Bellefonte. It just sounds so beautiful. And it's a beautiful little town. And I said, okay, we'll go explore it because it's supposed to have these Victorian mansions. And, it was founded by attorneys way back in the day. So everything's beautiful. And it's almost like San Francisco. Some of the hills on there, the sidewalks literally had to have staircases put in because of the steepness of it. So really cool place to visit. Took my wife. We're having a wonderful time exploring little places, little shops, buying her some stuff and all. And we're having just a wonderful time. It's beautiful. And so this all works into, I'm getting away. I'm appreciating this moment. This is something I should do more of. After we had our fun, we drove back. When I got home, I said, okay, I'm going to go out and do my rock hounding. I got a rental car. I'm going to put the fucking miles on it. I did so. I just left. I said, all right. I told Melissa I'll be back a little bit later. I'm just going to go out exploring for a little while. As soon as I left, maybe 10 minutes later, I'm getting a text from Melissa, and it's one of those texts no guy wants to hear, where she was basically like, I need you to be 100% honest with me. And once you see that portion of the text as a guy, everything is gonna fall apart. And it took me very off guard because we were having such a great day. But she says, I want to know, because she's an empath and she feels everything. And she says, I can feel your misery just coming off of you. And I need to know, would you be better off without me? So she put herself, for some reason, into the equation of my misery. Now, again, personal story. Everything is fine. We're good. But the thing is, it took me off guard in such a happy moment that I thought was happy. And there's your colors, where I'm thinking white, and adding all these other pastels and prettiness, suddenly turns to a murky black. Because I might be feeling wonderful, or anybody, not just me, anybody could be feeling wonderful, but there's underlying things that are going on that other people are feeling that I'm not even feeling. So a true wake-up call. So Lizzie, I kind of applied all that color to that whole thing.
That was beautiful, and if you don't mind me commenting on it, it kind of mirrors my situation a little bit, actually. Um, Being an empath is really hard, and when you have an empath with somebody who doesn't identify with an empath, is one kind of difficultness. And then if you have an empath who's also with another empath, there's a different kind of difficultness, especially if one is more aware than the other. Something that my relationship does a lot is because he can feel my emotions. So when I evolve to where I'm too big for the space I'm in, what does your brain naturally do? Starts picking out all the things it thinks is the problem. And I don't even have to say anything. He now feels all the ways I'm thinking he's the problem. But I'm not speaking it because I know he's not the problem, right? That's just what my brain's identifying right now. But when they can feel it, it's really hard. And it sounds kind of crazy, but I actually think that empaths can feel thoughts, not read your thoughts, but they feel your thoughts and they fill in their own verbiage for what they felt as your thought. And that's why a lot of times when unhealed empaths feel that, they internalize it because it literally just goes right into their own shadow. Um, and I think I had a point that trailed this together better. But what I was going to say at the end was sometimes that's kind of the problem too. See, you thought you needed peace, which was true, right? So you said, I'm going to go out, I'm going to take my wife, we're going to have a good time. And you set a course, which is everything we're taught to do, but the universe knew what you needed for peace. Melissa knew what you needed for peace. Melissa knew that you needed to observe that you're actually underneath this well-built happiness is a little bit of misery you're still learning how to love, really. Learn to accept you love, because I'm determined that we all love our own misery at this point. I thought I was unique in this and I was trying to heal it. Now I see it's part of the game, if that makes any sense. Oh man, so many thoughts. It's so hard to piece this all together. Nope, I guess that's it. That's all I can remember on that little rant. But maybe I'll tell you more later.
Okay. I don't know, Elaine, you have any thoughts on that? I mean, you're another female's perspective. I mean, it's like I said, everything is good now. That's the good part. Like I say, it's wild how Lizzie cosmically is tied in with my life, and when she puts her little words together. Sorry, drop something.
Yes. Yes, I love that discussion. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Gary, and thank you so much for your insights on that, Lizzie. And I think you're absolutely right whenever it comes to um, empath issues. I don't think I am technically an empath, but I've been around many people who I believe are, and I think you're right that there is that element of being able to not read thoughts, but to read the energy and the emotion around the thought patterns, and that's up for interpretation. If you've ever asked somebody whether something's blue or purple, right? Colors, it can be up for interpretation by the person who's viewing it, right, or the person who's sensing it. I will say though that my heart definitely goes out to Liz, Gary. I hope she's recovering. I hope that she's healing well. And I hope she's not too exhausted by recovery and she's not, feeling too down or anything. But I know she has excellent support, of course. She's got a wonderful husband. So, but please give her my love as well and my well wishes and my hope that she heals quickly.
Thank you so much for that. It's very, very much appreciated. But on a little bit of a lighter side, Elaine, change course of topic here real quick and hard. You had mentioned that you would like to do a live tarot reading session, and I started the advertising for it. And all we need basically is a date. Once we have a date going, especially now that I'm on Riverside, and this is set up beautifully for this, I'm overly excited. And I think your fans are going to be too, because you abruptly left social media. You left a lot of people in like, oh, where'd she go? And which is a good thing, I guess, for me, because most of your followers start following me to follow you. So it's a beautiful thing.
You all the opportunity to time travel with me back to 2005 because I'm still very much here. It's just that you got to go to a .com and you got to go and enter an email to, you got to email me like it's 2005 again. I don't have a MySpace because MySpace is gone, but I'm just kidding. I'm not going back to MySpace. No, I'm just not a social media person, but I definitely have my phone number on my website and texting me is best, and I'm a texter. So, or email me. And you guys can always get a hold of me for a personal, private reading. However, you're right. I would really love to get back to doing some, live, meeting new people, giving some free mini readings, making that spiritual connection with other people again. And hopefully that will drive people not only to my website, but also to your podcast, because you guys have so much more good stuff to offer on a regular basis. So I want to get people connected. But yeah, it's just an opportunity to time travel, guys, and to detox from social media a little bit, because we know it's not so great for us. I mean, it's not terrible, but you know.
No, I totally agree with you. Like, as somebody who's on TikTok way too much, like, I commend you for not being on it. I think that I can use it so much for what I want to do, but I also see how much it limits me in of itself. And so making that choice to just not be on it, I bet you just opens up so many things and so many avenues of life to just not do that. And
It really.
I really am excited for when you do the little mini readings. I just think that you have such an air about it. I just want to hear all that you have to say about it.
Oh, thank you so much, Lizzie. I love listening to you as well. You have so many great insights to share, and you're such a great storyteller, speaker. So I really
Think
love
I've been
listening to it.
practicing.
Well, she practices on TikTok. But a funny thing too, Elaine, Lizzie and Lizzie's still, she's doing, I guess, giving up for Lent. I don't know what you want to call it, but I gave up social media for 7 days straight. Um, just because it was just something I just wanted to do. Just, I know a lot of people who have given it up and it did not change their lives, like make them, unreachable or anything, but I done it myself and it has changed. I haven't even really been back. I go on like maybe once a week now to like TikTok, or I just jump on real quick just to hear what Lizzie's saying. That's really it. And I'm only using Facebook now as just basically another source for Eye Opener Society to get these videos out. And that's it. So I've completely cleaned, and it's really wild. It was only 7 days, but now here I am, maybe now 2 weeks after, and if I go on TikTok, I feel almost physically ill. It really is a detox. But interestingly enough, I wanted to ask Lizzie because she wanted to do me, I guess, upstage me, but she wanted to give up something too, and she gave up music, and I wanted to know how that's going.
Oh, I failed it.
Did you?
But I
I
have
heard a
so much
TikTok
to
about
say about it too.
it.
Should I go into it now? Maybe it's got to be its own episode.
Maybe we'll save it for another episode. But I was really curious because I did hear one of your TikToks about it, and that's why I was wondering just how it's really going. But you picked something that's very difficult to, like, it's easy to give up social media because it's like a poison. It's toxic, where music could be the complete opposite. But you gave it up, and I was kind of proud of you for that. Go ahead. You
I
were
didn't
gonna say,
mean to cut you off. I was
no,
just
you're
gonna
fine.
say, well, I look at it as nothing's a poison. It's only poisonous when we look at it that way. And so, of course, we're always like, like I quit drinking coffee recently, not because I think coffee is a poison, but because the annoyance I was finding when I was running out of coffee, not at the same time I was running out of groceries, and I was making an extra trip for coffee or an extra trip for creamer, like that was a poison. And so I quit that, you know what I mean? And I didn't think that music was a poison in any sort of way for me, but I also know that a lot of what I built in my abilities as an energy worker was around music. When I first started reading tarot and using the pendulum and connecting to my spirit guides, I was drinking an insane amount of wine every day at the same time. I was getting really drunk and then like talking to the spirit world. Like, I don't recommend it. That obviously probably took longer for me to learn things. And then when I stopped drinking, it's like I didn't really know how to do it anymore. And I had to like relearn it. But then later it came back, whereas like I see all that I learned, like now I can talk to my spirit guides in the chaotic grocery store. Like, it doesn't matter how chaotic it is around me, I can create a space in my head that I could like read tarot. And that was because I learned how to do it while highly intoxicated. You know what I mean? And so I forgot my point now. I'm really sorry. I'm pretty scattered today. I'm feeling just like a lot of everybody's energy.
You're channeling.
Yes, channeling a lot today. That's why I was scribbling while you guys were talking so I could focus on what you're saying. But now I'm talking, I can't scribble. Maybe I should. Might be the problem.
Oh, you're so much fun, Lizzie, and we're talking now a lot. We're throwing in tarot readings and all, and I just wanted to throw in. I totally forgot. I got to reach out to Carly and Carla from Appalachian Rootworks, Rooted in Ruins. Don't forget to check them out at AppalachianRootworks.com. They are completely amazing. They do have a tarot reader that's associated with their shop, and I want to get in touch with him. Amazing person. But I want to tie something all in. I want to do like an episode outside of our Monday, just based on this whole tarot thing and the lawsuits going on with the state and trying to get. I would love to get you, Elaine, in there. I would love to get. I believe. His name escaped. I believe it's Mark. I absolutely apologize if it's not. But I'm gonna get in touch with him, get him in here, and really discuss the tarot and putting tarot in the forefront, because we're not going to be stopped. We're not going to be held back. We are going to use tarot because it's our damn right to use tarot, especially, spiritually, through the ministry, or even just for damn fun. It doesn't matter. We can use it. So I want to put all that. I just wanted to throw that out there with everything else, because now I'm looking at this beautiful screen here with Riverside, and maybe they'll start paying me for advertising them. But I'm going to really excel with this platform because of this, I believe, especially if people give me donations to help me with the monthly cost.
Yes, please, everybody. Tip your ministers, please.
Yes, we totally need it. Yeah, I'm going to have the links down for both Buy Us a Coffee and for Venmo. It will be in there. And like I said, I don't force anybody with this, but if you do wish to, give, because I open a society really quickly once I'm down in Kentucky, and I have more of, I guess it's more of a welcoming space down there, and there's more of an interest. I can probably start taking this to new levels. So, and Lizzie, it looks like you're downloading something.
Yeah, I'm just sorry, I'm just gonna sound like a crazy person, but I've been with this. When Gary and I are chatting, we've often been chatting with Kelly, or it's just us, and so I'm used to our energies, and I'm just like very open today with my energy, so I'm just feeling like a lot of things. But Kelly matches in like a weird way. Like we were talking about how we open a book to see if we want to read it, and one of us like opens to the middle, one opens to the beginning, and one opens to the end. Like how funny is that, right? And then when we do talk to Halos kind of feels like somewhere of like a blend between mine and Gary's perspective and approach, and so she kind of like blurs us together a little bit. And Elena, I love you so much. You're just such a beautiful soul. But you're so structured, and Gary's so structured, and I'm all open and flowing. I can't tell what's happening.
I always love you, Lizzie. It's great.
I'm not that structured, but
she's really not. I mean,
Well, okay. You think you're not because everything is actually structured and flows simultaneously, right? But like your approach, when we talked about colors, you talked about how when you were painting, you're really into the color theory. When I started painting, paintbrushes annoyed me. Color theory annoyed me. I literally painted with the canvas on my lap, turning it upside down with my fingers. Like that's how I was trying to figure out how to paint little flowers. You cannot get the detail with your fingers you can with paintbrushes. I obviously had to evolve into it later to get the full skill, but my approach is different. And so I'm not saying like you're structured like in any sort of still way, if that makes any sense. It's just I don't know how to articulate it. It's beautiful though. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm having like such a weird thing. If I could just encapsulate my like last like 14 days into like this little moment and give it to you, then you'd be like, ah, I see why you're like, being like a weird little person right now.
Oh no, I don't think you're being weird at all. No, I think pretty sure I follow.
Okay, that's
See, oddly enough, this is Lizzie all the time. To be quite honest with you, so I see no difference.
usually I hold it together on the podcast a little bit more, my brain's flying off a little bit, but I was like, almost like, I kind of felt like I was gonna have a panic attack for a minute while you guys were talking, and it's just like all chill. We're having a lovely conversation, and I'm just like, there's so much energy.
Oh, that might be my fault, Lizzie. That might be me dragging my office energy kind of in behind me, like Mary Poppins. I seem to remember Mary Poppins like flying into work with her umbrella and it's just like going nuts around her, you know.
Well, man, if I'm already apparently trying to alchemize it for you, feel free to share if you want to talk about it.
No, no, it's
Just life.
just life stuff, just navigating systems and processes and a lot of office drama and all that stuff. But nothing juicy. Like it's all extremely boring. It's just that sometimes it's very emotionally loaded and sometimes I feel like I do kind of drag it a little bit like Pigpen's fuzz, from Charlie Brown, Pigpen. It's like I'm not really bothered by it because I'm dealing with it, but sometimes I wonder if I drag in a bit of that with me whenever I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm going to put down my work stuff and now I'm going to transition to this appointment or doing this or that.
I, I think
But
I think everybody drags it with them. I think you're just aware of how you drag it with you, if that makes any sense. And me picking up on it is probably just completely my state, and probably whatever's bothering you is close enough to like what's bothering me that it like pegs together. You know what I mean? If that is what I was picking up on. But I was just, what I was noticing from my perspective was just the energy structure of us all together, but I could have just been feeling yours. I could have just been feeling everything. I don't know.
And this is how it happens. And this was my weekend too. It's all about that feeling of energies and emotions when we get together. And just imagine now if Halos was thrown in the mix too, and all four of us, and then we throw in Kelly or something.
I
It's
probably would have
amazing.
cried if we got anybody else involved. I would have cried.
And that's perfectly fine. Absolutely. We sometimes feel it. We sometimes get that way. It's pretty weird. And I know, Elaine, too, I feel your structure only because I know you had mentioned to me you had such a day, and that's me every day with my job. So I get it. And we do it. Unfortunately, it does. It drags around with us, and it's not much we can do. And some people feel it more than other people do. But I think I'm going to close off. We've been on 30 minutes now, and I think this was beautiful. And so, what I want to do, listen up, audience, everybody, this is amazing because what's going to happen now next Tuesday? Lizzie and I, we always do Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when we get together to record the Monday with the Minister show. Now at Riverside, we are going to record live on Facebook and YouTube. So this way you, the listening audience, can join in and bring some of your energies, bring some of your ideas, some of your topics. This is something Lizzie and I have been wanting to do for a while. We wanted to get some feedback. We wanted to open up, the airwaves to everybody else to hear what's on your mind. So regardless if it's just Lizzie and I or if Elaine joins us or Halos, you can join us too. So just look for us every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Eye Opener Society to join in on the conversations because that's what I have planned to do next. So thank everybody. I want to thank Elaine for joining us. It's always wonderful to have you here. It's so good to see you. I really thank you, Lizzie, of course, and we'll see you on the next Monday with the Ministers. So thank you for joining us.